Hello and welcome to another standard video. Today we're gonna spice up the demon deck with Duskmourn's Claim. This 3-mana enchantment says at the beginning of your end step, 2 target players each reveal the top card of their library. They lose life equal to the mana value of the card revealed by their opponent, and then they get to put those cards in hand. So Duskmourn's Claim is a symmetrical card draw engine. The opponent's also going to draw an extra card each turn, which is usually not great for a magic card. You never want to give the opponent extra resources, but we can break the symmetry pretty easily by including a lot of very high mana value cards in our own deck. That way Duskmourn's Claim also starts doubling up as a win condition, where not only do we get to draw a card, but we also get to deal a lot of damage if we reveal something expensive. And this deck actually has some pretty high mana values, since hiding behind the 2-drops is actually Push-Pull, which has a combined mana value of 8 if we reveal it with our Claim. And this can also double up as a 2-mana removal spell, destroying a tapped creature, or even cast a 6-mana Pull to return 2 creatures from the graveyard temporarily. They get haste, have to sacrifice them end of turn, can even target opposing creatures, which can also come up. And then a Cease and Desist also has a combined mana value of 8, can use Cease as a 2-mana cantrip, gaining 2 life and drawing a card, but it can also exile cards from a graveyard, so it can maybe double up as a graveyard hate against various graveyard combo decks. And occasionally we might cast a Desist, since we do have some green lands in our mana base, so this can destroy all artifacts and enchantments, especially relevant against the synthesizer artifact decks. And then we also have Virtue of Persistence, can use a 2-mana Adventure as a cheap removal spell, gaining us some life, and then it also counts as a 7-mana card for Claim, can also cast it to start reanimating creatures from graveyards. And then the rooms also have a combined mana value of 8 in this case, with the Unholy Annex being another staple of the demon archetype, helping us draw additional cards while draining the opponent if we control a demon, which we can generate with a Ritual Chamber, or perhaps if we play a Demon Wall, can also help play defense early on. And then, of course, we have the Bloodletter as another powerful demon, and this is also very powerful alongside the Duskmourn's Claim, as it will double the damage from any card we reveal. So now all of a sudden, if we're revealing an 8-mana card, we might get 16 damage out of this 2-card combo as early as turn 4. And then Bloodletter, doubling the damage from the Annex, of course, is also quite powerful. And then the last piece of the puzzle is the Unstoppable Slasher, which can also maybe win the game on the spot if it hits the opponent while we control the Bloodletter. So that's another powerful 2-card combo. And then filling out the gaps, we also have 2 copies of Stab, giving a creature -2/-2 until end of turn if we need some efficient removal against aggro. And then on the opposite side of the spectrum, to wipe the board, we have Villainous Wrath, which says target opponent loses life equal to the number of creatures they control, then destroy all creatures. So this can also maybe net us a bit of extra damage, especially with a Bloodletter in play, doubling that effect. And so we're playing this over the Cover-Up, which is another solid option, especially if you want to fight the other graveyard combo decks and maybe exile a key card out of their graveyard. Kevero, of course, comes to mind, but the Villainous Wrath can complement our strategy of winning the game with our Duskmourn's Claim and Unholy Annex, so we're trying that out instead. And then the mana base has 2 Soulstone Sanctuaries, which can also turn into a demon to help enable the Unholy Annex and maybe get an extra attack in to get the last points of damage across. Since we do want to kind of soften up our opponent a little bit, get them to 16, that's kind of the magic number, where revealing one of our expensive split cards can just win out of nowhere with a Bloodletter. And then we also have Cavern of Souls to make our demons uncounterable, and then some black-green dual lands to occasionally cast Desist. Mortuary helping Surveil is also useful, can maybe look at the top card of our library and maybe set up something expensive with a Duskmourn's Claim, and then plenty of basic swamps. So that's our deck. Now let's jump into some games and see how the deck does. Okay, we're on the play with a keepable hand. Lots of 2-drops in reality. And our Duskmourn's Claim facing the life gain deck. Alright, that could make it tough to beat them with our Claim. I think I wait on Virtue to answer a Pridemate type creature. For now, just put up a blocker. At least their mana values on average are pretty low. So I'm gonna wait a little second on Duskmourn's Claim, first manage the board. Make sure they don't gain too much life and get their synergies going. And don't need another cease to desist. This is not a graveyard matchup. So now our opponent's gonna double spell to enable the Pride Mates. Hell yeah. Can be cast next turn to keep growing their things. Alright, I guess this is as good a turn as any to get our claim in play. And our opponent already took a whopping 8 damage. So at least they're further from enabling the ley line. Although we did draw them into a Healer's Hawk. Now Exemplar is going to pick up a counter right away. Gonna wait a turn on jumping the Pride Mates. In fact, now I can just push it and then probably stamp the Vanguard. Yeah, that seems fine. I could wait to see if I maybe draw into another stab, so we can double stab the Exemplar, but it doesn't seem very likely. I revealed a 7-drop, so that's nice. Points at 11. And it's also a fine removal spell. Although our opponent's also drawn into a couple more 1-drops they get to cheaply deploy. Starts with a Channeler, and double Channeler. So they're not actually gaining any life this turn. I think I am gonna animate Sanctuary, attack, and then I can still Virtue one of the Channelers. I don't expect them to double block. So our opponent's at 8, we could just win here. And we actually did, revealing Unholy Annex. So that's 8 more damage. On to the next one. Okay, we're on the draw. Hand is not great. No 3-mana enchantment to combo with a Bloodletter. This one's better. Probably ditching Cease and Desist, although it is my only 2-mana play. Could be useful if we're up against a graveyard combo deck. So maybe I just keep double Annex, but then we're weak to aggro. So maybe I should just keep 1 Annex. Facing Authority. That's acceptable. And I played the wrong land on turn 1. Probably wouldn't matter too much since I'm not in a hurry to cease. Alright, so this is the artifact deck, so might actually want Desist. So I need more lanes. And a synthesizer, so yeah, opponent's not wasting any time. So do we Slasher? I mean, Slasher does threaten lethal if they don't have a blocker. But they're likely gonna make a blocker. Or at least just play a removal spell. Which could also remove the Annex, to be fair. Yeah, I mean, if the plan is just to hit my land drops, Annex is the way to go. And then if they remove it, at some point Desist will get it back, although I will still have to unlock the room, so that's a little awkward. Found a claim, could be fun. But if the plan is to desist, I don't want to deploy too many enchantments first. Repurposing Bay is scary. I'll still play the Bloodletter here so we can start gaining life with Annex. Maybe next turn we can push a tapped token. Sawblades answers Bloodletter and can now be upgraded into another synthesizer with a Bay. So can I survive until 6 mana for Desist? That's the question. Because the damage is going to start piling up very quickly now. Slasher entering tapped also doesn't help me block. Opponent actually got a Perilous Snare instead of another synthesizer, so respecting the Annex. Okay, I mean, I'm just one land away from blowing up all artifacts. So we'll name Demon. And then definitely want to push. And then Claim makes it more likely that I draw into a land. So that's probably the move. Even though I would lose it to Desist. Or I can just play a Slasher, but that's probably not going to do much for me. Yeah, at this point I'm just hoping they concede if we can resolve Desist. Found another one, so they know it's incoming. Just need the untapped land now. They also took 8 damage in the process, so it was a double whammy. Gets the bricks. Yeah, if they had Fire Crystal with another synthesizer, they probably could have presented lethal right now. They may actually sack the snare, knowing that Desist is incoming. Get synthesizer, so yeah, just need an untapped land here to basically win the game. I don't think there's any way I survive otherwise. Let's go. So yeah, all rooms are locked. So 2 unknowns in hand, 2 lands. Can still desist 2 more times. So the green splash is paying off. Now we don't need to worry about authority anymore. Probably gonna see another synthesizer this turn. So I probably wait on Desist, and first I can go Demon Wall plus unlock Annex, perhaps. Although the Demon Wall is also an artifact, have to remember that with Desist. So yeah, there's a synthesizer. Not a threat when it doesn't make a token right away. So we could sprinkle in a Slasher. And then still unlock the Annex, take 2. Could go double Slasher, which I don't hate. Yeah, maybe that's the play. And wait for them to play another Perilous Snare and then blow up all artifacts and enchantments once more. Now I do potentially have to watch out for Fire Crystal giving stuff haste out of nowhere. Alright, that's the last synthesizer. So another Desist is looking good. If they sack a synthesizer to Fire Crystal, we should be able to block and survive. Or they can hardcast it. Is that game over? Uh-oh, it might actually be. Wow, hardcast Fire Crystal was not on my radar. But yeah, double starting town. Got it done. GG's, what a game. So got punished for maybe not just casting the Sis last turn. Oh well, on to the next one. Okay, we're on the play. Hand seems functional. Got the demon into Annex. Bit of removal. Keep the swamp. Facing turn 1 forest, so likely the landfall deck. They might have a 1 mana instant. Could be a protection spell. For now, Baloth. Yeah, I'll take 3, but opponent doesn't even offer, so they might have a fight spell they want to use instead. Still down to get the Annex in play. Take 3. If the wall survives, I'll maybe play second Annex. Taps out for Sentinel. So this might be Annex, next turn Wrath. Seems reasonable. So there will be a turn where we take a bunch of damage. But then we can make a demon token. Found our claim as well. Opponent plays a talent, so they're sadly not overextending into the Wrath as much as I would have liked. I think I still take the trade here. Maybe they play a pump spell. A limit break. Fair enough. So now we can Wrath. Draw more cards, and then next turn probably make a demon token so we don't lose a bunch of life to the Annex. Drawing a Bloodletter also works. So that's now gonna deal 8 damage to the opponents. Although the Uroboroid's gonna get out of range from our Virtue. So that's a little scary. I think it's still the play. Could also Virtue just to gain some life, because I'm probably not going to get the chance to use it otherwise. Next turn, I guess, don't quite have the mana to claim and make a demon token. Yeah, you know what, let's just gain life, because it might save me from having to chump. Opponent's at 4, so just making a demon token would present lethal next turn. Although we also have the Sanctuary. Opponent's gonna overprotect. Twice. So that now gets a counter. Goes up to 22 power, so we actually have to chump. Had I not cast Virtue, we would have been dead here. So we fall to 1, but we have a demon in play. On to the next one. Okay, we're on the play. We have claim into Bloodletter, so sign me up. Even have our demon plan with Annex. Keep the untapped land. We actually have to make a choice between Demon Wall and curving claim into Bloodletter. Claim into Bloodletter is definitely the more fun sequence. Say no to the Wrath. Against blue-black, I don't think we'll need it. Bats might interfere, although we've got 2 separate 3-drops that are both quite effective, and I imagine they're going for Annex over Claim. But who knows? Maybe they've got experience with mono-black Claim decks. Alright, there goes the Annex. Stab also a nice efficient answer. But we're here for one thing, and one thing only. revealing demon walls to my opponents as they reveal Beastbinder. So next turn, got a few options. Could stamp the bat, play Annex. Could play a pair of demon walls. Could even push a bat. Although pushes maybe, I guess against Vigilance it doesn't work. Yeah, could also just cast a Bloodletter, see what happens. Then they attack, they remove its abilities. And that's until their next turn, so then it wouldn't enable the claim actually. So we'd only have it this turn. And then I can't push the Beastbinder because it's vigilant. So maybe we wait on Bloodletter for a bit longer. And for now just stab the bat. Play the Annex so we can get ahead on cards. And then when the opportunity is right, we can play Bloodletter. For now we got 4 damage. Had we drawn first we would have dealt 8 damage instead. A land would have been useful actually. So now I could just play Bloodletters turn after turn until they run out of answers. Or if we suspect removal, probably better to double spell. Especially now with Virtue, we've got a nice answer to the Beastbinder. And then Demon Wall enables Annex. Because if they are sitting on a counterspell, I don't want to waste my turn on a 4-drop. Now they may have to destroy the wall. Shoot the Sheriff. Okay. So, doesn't matter which order, it's kind of random. Although once again, we got worse sequencing. Could have dealt 7 damage with a Virtue. So then our opponent would have been dead had we dealt 8 and then 7. We took 4 of Curiosity. But they can't really tap out, or else Bloodletter threatens lethal. Although I still can draw lands somehow. Again, don't really want to just play a single spell into open blue mana. But we can double spell Virtue and another Demon Wall. It's probably the best I've got. They will then get to play the Curiosity is a problem, assuming they don't answer the wall. So yeah, unless I start drawing some lands, I may not be able to ever tap out for Bloodletter, which would be a shame. There's a land. And now discard. 1 claim can go. Actually, should have considered discarding Bloodletter in case we want to pull it back out of the graveyard. Could even pull back the Bloodletter plus Slasher combo to win on the spot. But yeah, we also revealed an 8-drop in the meantime to the claim, so our opponent's at 2. I don't think they can deal 10 damage here. And we just need to pass a turn with a demon in play to win the game. So Trajectory takes care of the wall. Alright, so they're maybe gonna get there. Cease also a way to exile the Curiosity while it's maybe temporarily in the graveyard. Plays a Siren. So, if I go for Sanctuary, I can just animate it, and they would need removal that specifically targets a creature and not a land. This doesn't work since our Sanctuary would be an outlaw, because it has all types. So there's not many cards I can think of that would stop that line. Alternatively, I could make a demon token, does get answered by Shoot the Sheriff. I could push the Curiosity, exile it with Cease, gain some life, and then roll the dice on Claim. Won't have a demon in play then. So there's a few options. I don't think playing Bloodletter is one of them. So if I go for Sanctuary and they have a different removal spell, something like a Bitter Triumph comes to mind, that would work. If I then take out Curiosity, I'm still in danger with a Restless Reef. So I think I still just animate Sanctuary here. And if we want to spice it up, I can pass a turn. And then first let the Claim resolve and then the Annex. Alright, they actually had a long goodbye. Alright, so now definitely want to resolve Claim first, because we might lose to our own Annex otherwise. And we revealed a 7-drop, so that'll do it. Awesome. And we get to rank up onto the next one. Alright, we're on the draw with a Slasher into Bloodletter combo. May need some backup. Opponent on the red-white. Looks like they have a burn spell. Shock my face. So wouldn't mind a haste creature that we get to push, and there we go. Challenger gets in for 2. So I get to spend my mana efficiently. For now, play Slasher. And if that soaks up a couple burn spells, that's fine. Boros Charm goes face. And so does Shock, we're at 10. Although if they don't have any blockers, they could just die to the Slasher next turn. So Grease Wrench is gonna have to block. Unless they have a Lightning Helix or Lightning Strike. Fair enough. And Goblin exhausts. Can still block it here. And we'll just play another Bloodletter. Pretty straightforward. This hits for 6 damage, or rather 8 damage total. I'm blocking. Boros Charm for double strike, still just trades. Still a 2-for-1 in our favor. And now we can make a demon token, or we can gain some life with an Annex and add a wall to the board. Might be safer. But yeah, I don't think our opponent's surviving this with a single draw step. We're at 12. Well, Sheltered by Ghosts might have been among the few cards that can make an impact, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Exile the wall, they can't attack, otherwise they die to the combo. And if they don't attack, they're dead to the Annex trigger without ever needing to attack. So yeah, between a rock and a hard place. On to the next one. Alright, we're on the draw. Hand is functional. Turn 2 Virtue, turn 3 Claim, turn 4 Bloodletter. Facing another life gain deck, maybe a black-white variant, so maybe gonna see a couple bats. Swamp number, line number 5. Is that necessary? Not really. Pridemate we will take out with a Virtue. And another one is nice to have. So removal aplenty. And then Bloodletter plus Claim is also pretty effective. So we'll see how things line up. We lost one, opponent got a freebie as we reveal a swamp. If they keep up removal, I may not want to tap out for Bloodletter, but opponent goes for a Shelter by Ghosts. So I guess we'll just Virtue and get our enchantment back. Could also play Bloodletter first, to be honest, and present a blocker. Maybe that's still decent. And then get the immediate damage doubling effect next turn, if all goes well. So our opponent will gain life with a Vanguard, amplified by a Leyline. Not enough to pump the team yet. Alright, opponent's gonna double down, and yeah, I may get punished here, because now Ward 4 total. So I can't take it out with a Virtue anymore. Now their team's enormous. So, still gonna play the Bloodletter, and then next turn I can pay for it. Shouldn't be dead yet. And then the payoff is gonna be insane. With double Bloodletter on the battlefield. Amalia is acceptable. Now there's also a chance I die to the opponent's reveal, but I think they top out at 4 mana value. And I guess we know they're gonna reveal a Channeler now. Pay the ward. And get our stuff back. Don't think I can afford to attack. Opponent took 32 damage of a push-pull. Not that on board. And next turn we might be able to get there. Probably want to gain 2 so we don't die to a Leyline reveal. Otherwise I guess it would end in a draw. Perhaps. I guess I do have to chump here, sadly. But we also have push-pull as an option, although there's only one creature in my graveyard. So what's actually the best I can do? Maybe animate Sanctuary, attack with both. Can still Virtue one of their creatures, even before attacking, and then hope to get there with a Claim. Could also take out Amalia, but if I pay 3, I'm dead, unless I Virtue first. But if we go with that line, I'm pretty likely to die to my own Claim as well. So, yeah, kind of liking the Sanctuary Gambit. Take out, what's better, Channeler or a Flyer? Probably the Channeler, because they can give it flying with Starting Town. I mean, I could just attack with a Sanctuary, I suppose. Would be 6 damage. Now let's go all out. Opponent double chumps. Sanctuary can jump Amalia. They're gonna keep Halia on top, so we're gonna lose 3. Opponent lost 6 to our Slasher. I don't think they can target my lands with Sheltered by Ghosts, so they would need a different removal spell. And now Linden, so that's more life gain. Also amplified by the leyline each time, so that's adding up. Going back up to 21. So 4 in the air, plus maybe another 16 would be 1 short, but we can pull back the Bloodletter. And then we get double the damage, so then revealing anything substantial could be game over. Although I say that, opponent now has a Pridemate on top, so that would end in a draw if we reveal it to claim without gaining life. But maybe that's the best we can hope for. I guess never mind, opponent drew Pridemate with Halia, so it's no longer the top card. Alright, I think we go for it. Meaning, pull back the Bloodletter. They gain haste. So we're attacking for 4 times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16. So just need to reveal any non-land card to win the game. Could also look at their stuff. But I don't think we're doing better than Bloodletter, although I could gain 2 life with double Bat here. But I don't think that's the way to go. So pull back my Bloodletter. Go to attacks. And this is exciting. End of turn. Make sure to resolve claim before sacrificing our creature. And sadly we reveal the land, so no additional damage. We fall to 1, revealing a 1-drop. So yeah, it was close. Just needed a non-land card, so I think we were favorites to win there, but wasn't meant to be. Still a close one. And there's another leyline. Yeah, without a leyline in their opener, we maybe get there too. On to the next one. Alright, we're on the draw with a keepable hand. Just need to hit some more land drops. Facing island. Is it blue-red? Is it a graveyard deck? We're about to find out. Mono blue so far. And a Siren. A fine target for Virtue. Keep the instant speed stamp for later. So we will have to contend with some counter spells eventually. But I don't hate my position. Cavern of Souls would be useful to draw. Yeah, we'll see if they're scared of a Duskmourn's claim. They could also use it to their advantage by tempoing us out. Their opponent doesn't want to have any fun. And there's Cavern, beautiful. Try to counter this one. Opponent's gonna trick, probably should have waited to tamp this down. But maybe they have a different answer. they're gonna bounce it. So yeah, this is where they can maybe start tempoing us out a little bit, but still have a long way to go. Now we get to stab in addition to playing the Bloodletter. If they play a Drowner, we'll take it out before they can shuffle away. R2-4. Yep. We'll still get a stun counter, but that's fine. A land into Enduring Curiosity would have been decent here, but nope, just an attack for 2. So they're just missing a land 4 maybe. And now I could save Cease to combine with Virtue to exile an Enduring Curiosity by taking it out and then exiling it before it returns. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Just play the Bloodletter and pass a turn. Close to casting the 7 mana enchantment, although not much to get back. I guess I can also get opposing creatures back, so that helps. No attacks for now. Alright, so we can start getting in. Could also be convinced to leave 1 Bloodletter on defense, but I think we'll be able to overpower them. Don't expect us to resolve, but that's okay. And our opponent scoops it up. Alright, on to the next one. Okay, we're on the draw with a functional hand. Could use our claim and some demons. Let's see if we can find them. Facing Godless Shrine. Might be the 4-color control deck, which doesn't bode well, since they'll have answers for everything we throw their way. Alright, Slasher I could make uncounterable. Then my demons aren't uncounterable anymore. Don't want to get my Annex countered as a problem. So maybe I'm actually fine if they counter the Slasher. Which is probably their cleanest answer, unless they have the defeat in hand. My opponent's just consulting. So now they'll need maybe a Lightning Helix to take care of it. Or 4 mana for defeat exiles it for good. But then they don't have a defeat for the Annex. Seems a bit ambitious to try and go for the lethal one-hit KO here. So I'll respect interaction, attack, see what happens. They had the defeat, so all according to plan. Assuming they don't have another defeat in hand, we now get to pull ahead. And there's a claim, could be fun too. So now I could just make a demon token and wait on Bloodletter until we have a more efficient turn. This way we don't run into any counter spells. Although with Cavern naming Demon we could also get around it. Alright, opponent's just gonna defeat the enchantment now. Still got our value. So I guess that works. And now they're less likely to answer the claim. Can also pay for No More Lies in the meantime. So I don't think it's quite a Bloodletter turn. Yeah, it's not a very efficient turn either way. If I animate Sanctuary, I still only have 2 mana afterwards. There's nothing to pull back. So maybe I do just cast a Bloodletter and attack, then our opponent can wipe the board, and then we get the claim going. Or I just cast a claim and see what happens. But I can attack first, I suppose. Opponent took it. Giving the control deck extra cards isn't always a great idea, but hopefully we'll get a better deal. Final showdown blows up the board. And our opponent took 2. We didn't take any damage. But yeah, at 14, we could just win on the spot if Bloodletter survives and reveals an 8 mana card. So I think it's time. Uncounterable Demon. Can play a Demon Wall as well, just in case. Helix Face, back up to 17. And a Teachings can get the Jeskai Revelation, perhaps. So I'm not going to be able to win with a single claim. Opponent's at most going to fall to 1. Yeah, there's a Revelation. Opponent took 6 off our Slasher. Alright, but now we're in danger of getting burnt out. Ultima wipes the board. Still have my enchantment. But we do have push-pull to bring back the Bloodletter, which could be pretty neat. That's 6 mana, so it doesn't leave mana for anything else, really. Still seems like a decent use of my resources, as opposed to playing a Slasher, and then that's about it. Could also potentially Virtue just to gain some life here. Taking out the wall. But they might no more lies to counter. Alright, go to attackers. Get Lost could have also hit the enchantment. So now what? I guess we just gain 2 life. Revealed a 3-drop, opponent to lane, so we're still getting the better exchange. And now at 8, they're closer to dying to the combo, although they can still gain 4. Still have our Bloodletter back in the graveyard, so we can maybe pull it back, but then they would just Revelation. So the safest play is probably to... Can't quite triple 3-drop. So then it might be claim, Slasher, see what happens. There's also the Sanctuary, but that's just gonna get zapped. So I think we start by casting a claim. See if they want a Revelation now. Then I can maybe Virtue one of the tokens. Alright, that's fine. So we're at 7. Opponent is tapped out. So I'm definitely gonna Virtue a token. Then the question is Slasher versus another claim. I could just win with a second claim if we get lucky. Need to reveal 12 mana values total. If I play Slasher, I can't win. And, I mean, it can maybe do some damage next turn, but unlikely to go the distance. So I think we just go for it here. That's 2, and that's 1, so definitely below average. Although Stab can eventually take care of the monk if we're not dead yet. Although could get taken out by some burn spells now. Says no to a Get Lost. Plays the Goggles to double their burn spells. If they have a Helix, we're just dead. And yeah, well, that's an unfortunate way to go. So yeah, didn't quite go our way here. On to the next one. Okay, we're on the draw with a functional hands. Could use a demon besides the ritual chamber. Opponent on a burn deck shocks us to 18. Gonna say no to the Wrath. Well, at least we have a bit of life gain with Virtue. Pyromancer, not a haste creature, so I can't push it. Yeah, that's fine. I'll still Virtue. If they play Screaming Nemesis, I can still destroy it while it's tapped. So finding Demon Wall would be pretty good. Can block well and enable the Annex. A Bloodletter and a land would be fine. More Virtues. Opponent warping a Hellkite. So we take 4. There's a Bloodletter, so I think I go for Annex now. Hope to draw into a land. And we did. So next turn I'm pretty much locking in Bloodletter. Could have been scary if they went Screaming Nemesis and shock it, so then I can't gain any life anymore. Demon Wall's an interesting twist, actually. Could go Demon Wall plus push, pull, or stab. Probably leaning push. Although then I don't have a clean answer to Screaming Nemesis if that shows up. Bloodletter's mana efficient, unlikely to get burnt. Doesn't block the Hellkite too well, but would net me some life. So it's actually an interesting decision. Because yeah, push would also answer the Hellkite. I think I just go Bloodletter here. Although it may not block the Challenger too well. So that's the drawback. But if they're not playing Hellkite, I can probably take the hit from Challenger and survive. What's the worst case scenario? At instant speed, double burst lightning strike, that's 7. Plus 5 is, I guess, 12 exactly. There's a Nemesis. Will they shut down life gain? Oh, they don't seem to have a 1 mana instant, so I can take it. And then Virtue is also a fine answer. Although I could Virtue the Challenger and then just push the Nemesis, maybe that's better. Just play it safe here. Still gonna attack since we're not blocking the Hellkite. Although maybe I could have blocked another Challenger. Although if that's their play, we should be fine. Opponent's at 8, so we're also threatening lethal. So this might be a Hellkite on defense. Another Nemesis. Still attacking. So they must know something we don't. If I attack, we have lethal, so yeah, I don't think I need to overthink it. Just watch out that we don't run into Witchstalker Frenzy, so don't want to attack with the Sanctuary maybe. Alright, so we got to see this janky black-green Demons deck in action. And yeah, the claim definitely adds a little bit of variance to the gameplay. But it's maybe not a bad thing, since the Demon deck had sort of fallen off recently, so maybe this is a way to reinvigorate the archetype and make it relevant again. although it does mean having to play a couple clunky sorcery speed removal spells, which aren't always ideal, but it seems good enough to hang with the current best of one meta. Maybe not a super competitive deck, but at least hovering around 50% win rate, which is all we can ask for. So yeah, that's going to do it for today's gameplay. I want to thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed, and as always, have a nice day.